Hey guys, I'm Captain Foley.
And I am Quantum Hawkins, and today we're talking about a potential in season 3 of Discovery. I think fair to
What?
say, Stuart,
Just one?
mostly they've been doing pretty well with covering their bases and making logical things and relatively plot hole free. It's quite impressive, really.
Yeah, I'll agree to that. I mean, I was surprised that there's just one in season three. I know season one and two might have had a little few more, so at least they're correcting things as they go, right?
But in this episode, there's an
But
instant red flag.
well, I mean, something's got to be red. The planet Vulcan isn't. I mean, Tavar. Sorry, it's a new planet, new color. Why not? I mean, there's some red, but
So when they reach there, and they're going to do this great little trial by logic, inquiry trial by logic. Beams aboard Burnham's arbitrator, her person to help, and the character's got the shawl on, reveals it, and it's Michael Burnham's mother. The issue is Michael Burnham's mother isn't in this timeline. She never appeared in this timeline, and it's confusing, and also the way they act is completely different to how they would do having just watched season 2. So I had to go back and watch season 2, Stuart, again. The important moments on the Red Angel suit, on the mum, all those scenes. And boy, there's a massive disconnect between these two seasons. And we've said a few times, there's a kind of a rebooty feel with the characters and the story. But this character completely is. I mean, what did you think when she appeared, and did this even occur to you?
didn't occur to me. I thought, wow, what a coinky dink! Look, it's mommy. I gotta honestly, I gotta say, when she beamed aboard and lifted up her hood, I'm like, and who's that? Like, is this somebody who's? Oh, it's mom. Okay, gotcha. I did not put two and two together. Didn't recognize her.
Okay, so the reason why it doesn't make sense is that season 2 is all about time travel. Whole premise. And there's a whole spiel about time being fluid and explicitly saying all life in the universe was destroyed at one point. Because Michael Burnham's mum goes to that future and is the only person living. That happens. End of story. The character Michael Burnham's mum then goes back in time, and this is all in dialogue, and watches her daughter die hundreds of times. Because she tries hundreds of things to try and fix the past, but it never works. So that future is always happening. She goes forward and back, forward and back. She's changing the past, doesn't change the future, and she always re-changes further back in other events. I'm not sure how she can... I'm not sure once she changes one domino... Like, you'd always have to go further back, wouldn't you, to change it?
Yeah, it's year of hell essentially. You know, trying to fix a thing by altering other things and getting different results. Not what you expect. Yeah. Exactly.
But since time travel is such that once you go back in time, you now exist in the past at that point. So once she changes its sphere data, gets onto Discovery, she could never have gone back to a point after that happened, or after that didn't happen, because that never happened. So she's creating alternate timelines. That's the key thing. She's going back and changing the middle bit of time. So there's the past, her present, and the middle. She's changing the middle every time and sort of seeing. So she gets to the point where she changes the sphere data, sees Discovery, that is our current present. But she still knows the future gets destroyed. Okay, great. Things are still going bad. Now, at one point, control goes back and starts to cause problems. The AI goes back, but the future still happens because she's still in the future. So they go to a planet, ESOC 4, which is one of the test bed for the time suit, the Section 31 pre-TOS time suit, abandoned once they thought the test went wrong when Michael Burnham's mum, who was the engineer that built it, that designed and built it, her mum, and her dad, but mostly her mum, and in the dialogue they even explicitly say the suit was nowhere near working, and then the mum came in and designed one that worked. So her mum built a time suit, just her. Wow, amazing. Because Section 31 knows the suit, they developed this trap where they managed to get the suit in season 2, and they trap Michael Burnham's mum, and there's a revelation of it's not Michael Burnham in the suit, it's the mum. Or they shouldn't send the signals, because obviously there's two Red Angels, there's the Michael Burnham future one, and there's the Michael Burnham's mum past and future one. Anyway. So at ESOC 4, she's trapped. We get this great conversation, we get Michael Burnham's mum being very expressive about, you guys are all dead to me, you're ghosts, I gave up on my daughter, you know, and because time is fluid, doesn't matter what I say here, I'm going to change it anyway. This doesn't matter, I can always go back. Then Leland Control comes in, destroys the time suit crystal. Suit still is a suit, and because the containment field goes down, Michael Burnham's mum is pulled back into the vortex because of the rubber band effect. They explicitly say you set a start point and an end point, and you're banned back to where it was. And she was on Terrelysium, and she set the default point always as Terrelysium. That was explicitly said. And so she gets pulled from Terrelysium to ESOC 4, and then gets pulled back Terrelysium, because it's a rubber band. Thing is, the suit gets pulled, and then she gets pulled not in the suit. So you'd assume she would die, because she's not in a time suit. But unfortunately, in this episode, we get presented with the fact that she did not, and she says this, she didn't land on Terrelysium, she landed back on ESOC 4, so the time suit, the time vortex pulled her from the present of ESOC 4 back down to the future of ESOC 4 for some reason. In the future of an unknown portion of time. We don't know when, because if you weren't yo-yoed to the same place, and why would you be yo-yoed at the same time? Who the hell knows? Then she was found by settlers on ESOC 4, on a planet which they explicitly say is uninhabitable. Yes, this is the future, but, I mean, okay. I guess they terraformed a planet. They take her to Romulus to be Vulcan to be healed. Ex-Vulcan. Okay, so the suit instantly doesn't work because it got them to the wrong planet, probably the wrong time as well. That already doesn't make too much sense. Right. The biggest issue is that when she gets pulled back into the future, they haven't defeated Control yet. And because time is fluid, she's being pulled back into the future, so she could not have come out into the new future because it hadn't happened yet. You still have to have linear change to create whatever. Otherwise, the season 2 always happened, and then there's no story because Control would never have been... For Control to have been still in the future, there has to be a linear changing of time. And so, now you could argue that once she told Michael, that changed time, but then it wasn't... Like, she was going into the future of their future, so why did she end up in this future?
And be able to survive on an uninhabitable planet with no suit, because she gets pulled back without the suit. Yes.
I mean, you can survive a few seconds, so she probably could get into the suit, which doesn't have time crystal, which means it can't do FTL. But we're assuming it was colonized, etc. But how could she survive a time vortex? If you need a suit to survive it, why would...
It was kind of annoying with season 2, with the fact she got pulled back after the suit went.
And then you think, last thing... The way she and Michael interact in this episode is quite nice, really, in the episode of season 3. They're friendly, they're hugging, it's all nice, right? As if they've known each other for years. Problem is, Michael Burnham's only seen her mum twice in 21 years. Went away when she was about 7, appeared when she was in Discovery season 2 for about 5 hours, and then saw her again in episode 7 of Discovery. And all of a sudden, she's fine. She hasn't been a mum to her between 7 and 20 whatever. For 20 years she was missing, and yet they treat each other like they've been known each other for years. Big disconnect. If you watch those scenes back to back, she's like angry. I mean, yes, Michael Burnham's mum can change how she is because she's lived on this other planet for a while, fine. But Michael's all friendly and lovey-dovey despite having just only re-met her, having thought she was dead.
You're not supposed to remember season 2, Samuel. And I don't think the writers did. That's really interesting. I never considered all that. I was just like, wow, that's a major coincidence that it just happens to be her mom. And then why was she taken to Navarre, which is Vulcan? Why did she decide to join the Kuat Malat? Even though, yeah, sure, they healed her and brought her back to health or whatever, but still.
Well, and not just that, but I doubt she was brought there pre-burn. So she was brought to a planet very far away from Vulcan that was previously uninhabitable, and the colonists decided to use what little dilithium they had, take a random stranger to Vulcan because they were nice?
Maybe because she said Vulcan, like in her dazed, injured state, because she knew that eventually Michael Burnham would make her way back to Vulcan for some reason. That would be my only suggestion there.
Although you wouldn't think Michael would go into the future. Because the last thing she knew was that the sphere data was going to her suit, and then Control was also taking it. She didn't know anything about the plan to go to the future, didn't know they had built a second suit, didn't know Discovery went to the future, so why would she go to Vulcan? As in, why would she... Yeah, she wouldn't think to find Michael a Vulcan, because, Michael died 880 years ago, 900 years ago. And like I say, why would people be nice enough to warp her to Vulcan when the galaxy is in ruin? Really, is that an input? Now, obviously, she had a time suit, which couldn't time travel, but the tech was still able. All I had to do was have a new time crystal, that's it. And maybe she traded the suit to the colonists, because in the episode, they say the suit has infinite data storage. So she's giving a colony an unlimited computer.
So somewhere there's a colony that using the suit as a central computer processing system
On ESOC
which is also a time travel
able to
MacGuffin.
be, yes.
And somebody's going to steal it, and that's going to be the plot of season 4. God damn.
So it's a bit weird. She shouldn't be in this timeline. Even if she yo-yoed to the 950 years, then she'd be 30 years older. Now, you could argue that she may have spent 30 years trying to fix the past, in which case it's relatively on par with time, but then she should have gone back to Terra Elysium. Now, you could argue... Now, to solve this, you have to argue a few things. One, when they took her suit down, that even though that's not what it did, you could argue it messed up the coordinates of the yo-yo. It explicitly says it's not how it works. They say that can't happen, but say that did happen for whatever reason. Now she's untethered. And I guess you could argue because she's now there, she's changed the future has now always changed. The fact that in that episode they show that Michael Burn's mum can change the future a billion times, why don't they want to change the burn? Because it's no longer the future is set, it's that the future is always fluid. You can always change it. It's that easy to, and if Michael Burnham's mum just being there caused enough change, all they have to do is change one very small thing, it'll change everything else again. And you can still go back to a future, the new future. Because that's the thing, Star Trek works in alternate timelines, not one concurrent future. So she should...
Mm-hmm.
If she's yo-yoing anywhere, then it would be to a different timeline. Because it's linking her to that timeline. If she's not yo-yoing, then the whole suit is just taking her back in time into the future for some reason, to a different planet for some reason, out of a suit for some reason, she can survive for some reason, she gets picked up for some reason, she gets travelled at warp for some reason, back to Vulcan for some reason, she's still alive for some reason, she's still on Vulcan for some reason. Does it make sense, Stuart? I don't know. I don't think so.
Wow. Yeah, you broke my brain. I need to go rewatch season 2. But
I thought it'd be a really poignant thing. Like at the end of the day, Michael Burnham's mum, had to sacrifice herself. She had to stay in the original timeline, and that was the sad thing. She did save the future. She just didn't get to enjoy that future. You know, because of alternate timelines. That's how these things work. Have you seen Endgame? Endgame created a new timeline. It didn't alter every other thing. It didn't kill everyone else.
All right, guys, put in the comment section what you guys thought about this. Did you even consider this? Do your research. Let us know what you thought about this, what you think might be the explanation. Is there something we're not seeing that you can fill us in on?
Talk to us. Yeah, let us know.
Please let us know. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit like, and yeah, we're asking you to do your time travel homework here, guys. But yeah, I mean, we have a lot of different content and a lot of lives every week where you guys can interact with us. And we might even do a whole live talking about this topic because I'm sure people will have input in real time, which will help us with our discussion. So consider hitting that subscribe button, as I said. Don't forget to click the notification bell icon so you get notified every time we upload or do a live, because we do quite a few of them. And you guys showing up is a big support and big help for us. So please consider doing that. We have a great community.
And if you want to directly support us, we do, you, the amazing community, Patreon, PayPal, join the channel, Super Chat, all great ways, all different ways. And we personally love the Super Chat way, which is you join us for a live there every single week. You come in, you say, hey guys, good to see you, or hey guys, I don't think you're right. We have to read out. We always want to. We always do. And we have a great discussion. And those things are great because you can change our mind. We can change your mind. Great conversation. Or if you want to be a passive supporter on a monthly basis, either Patreon or join the YouTube channel, both sort of the same way. It really, really helps. It's essential because without that sort of support, we can't keep going. And you see how much content we do. We do it because you guys do support. But we could do with more, so we're more able to be confident, etc., etc. Thanks in advance.
That's right. So until then, sometime in the future of this timeline, not the future of another timeline, but there might be. I don't know what Trekyards would be like in another timeline. Anyway, until then, I'm Captain Foley.
I am Connor Holmes.
See you in the future, guys.